First confirmation of the call came from the White House press secretary at the daily news briefing.
It lasted about 30 minutes. It was 30 minutes long. It was direct. It was productive. Obviously, the call that the president had with the Prime Minister of Israel.
The leaders last met in person back in July, and their last reported telephone contact was on August the 21st. This was before the Iranian attack on Israel, which in the official readout of the call, President Biden is said to have unequivocally condemned. But no indication was given that any possible Israeli response was discussed in the conversation. The Israeli Prime Minister's office released a photo showing Benjamin Netanyahu on the phone with President Biden, but there was no information about the tone of the discussion. President Biden reportedly repeated his call for a ceasefire in the Israeli war on Gaza to allow the return of those still being held captive and the release of Palestinians being held in Israeli prisons. The official readout contains one stark word. It reads, "The president also discussed the humanitarian situation in Gaza and, I quote, the imperative to restore access to the north by reinvigorating the corridor from Jordan immediately." This is an unusually strong word in what is normally a bland record of a conversation. At the State Department, there was also a sharp tone to comments about the conflict in Lebanon.
We cannot and must not see the situation in Lebanon turn into anything like the situation in Gaza. That would, of course, not be acceptable.
President Biden is said to have reaffirmed Israel's right to defend itself against Hezbollah, but is also reported to have emphasized the need to minimize harm to civilians, mentioning the densely populated areas of Beirut in particular. Continuing Israeli attacks during and after the conversation would appear to indicate a marked lack of compliance. Mike Hanna, Al Jazeera, Washington.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.